Uh, we want to start this meeting, and before we do start, we need to call upon any of you to just give us an opening prayer before we start. It has been the rituals that before you start any proper meeting, there should be a prayer. So someone should do us the honest by saying the opening prayer for us.
Let's pray. Gracious Jesus, we are grateful unto you for an occasion like this. We are meeting to learn. We pray that may grant our facilitators the wisdom to teach and teach the way we would understand it. Grant us the ability to digest and comprehend whatever will be taught this evening. May this evening be a remarkable one in our lives, one that we'll look back to and say we have learned something that we can use for life. We thank you for the answer prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much for that awesome prayer. Okay, so this evening it's expedient that as an accountant, you be abreast with the things going on. And as an accountant, it's not all about you preparing the financial statement. Nowadays, the AI can do a whole lot of things, but even the AI can even interpret the financial statement for us. But you, the accountant, is supposed to understand how the financial reporting, that's why they call it financial reporting and corporate reporting. Okay, so basically it goes beyond the figures, okay, the understanding when it comes to reporting those issues. So we have put together a nice program, okay, which will build accountants. Way back, if you cast our minds back, accountants don't like doing presentations, okay? Way back in secondary schools, way back in poly, way back in university and our master's level. If you are called upon to do even presentation, it becomes a problem. But now the issues are changing now. So if you're an accountant, it's not you getting the A in book. You can have all the A's in book, on paper, on your transcript, okay? All the A's in ICAG, all the A's in masters. But how do you communicate the A that you had? That is the most important thing. So we have put together this wonderful program to build your confidence when it comes to public speaking. I'll be your host. My name is James Patrick Osaikofo. My friends call me Omampenyi. You can also call me Omampenyi as well. So this evening we have a fine gentleman who is going to help us decode the this topic, that is building influence, public speaking, and branding strategies for accountants. When it comes to accountants, how we even dress, how do we go about issues? Last time I was sharing with the how do you call it? Those I met last week for our seminar, that when I went to do chartered diploma, we're doing ethics. And one of the ethics, the code of the ethics, talks about professional behavior as an accountant. And one accountant went to buy food and he was eating at the roadside. And when the boss saw him eating at the roadside, he queried him. Okay, so how do we put together our professional behavior? How do we speak? How do we start all these issues? So this program is being put together to help us as an accountant. Okay, so the next voice that you hear, now we are in AI world. The next voice that you hear is my AI put together to introduce the speaker. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'll be your host. And after this program, after the presentation by the speaker, I'm going to also moderate any questions and answers. So just do follow as the AI introduce our speaker.
Turn 0 image 5. Here's what I found about Prince Okoempa, also known by his nickname Oko Afa. Who is Prince Okoempa? Prince Okoempa is a Ghanaian public speaker, innovation strategist, voice coach, and digital leadership expert. He leads both TIET Africa and the Experts Hub Africa, organizations focused on leadership, branding, and AI integration early in careers. Site, search, zero turn, search 1, or search 2. He's recognized for empowering under 40 CEOs and emerging leaders across Africa, blending strategy, technology, and human-centered branding. Site-centered branding. 2, Turn No Search, Born Honors and Achievements. Awarded Global Excellence Business Leader by international institutions from Canada, Portugal, the UK, and Ghana. SAS, Site It Turn Search 0, named Technology CEO of the Year 2025 by Ghana CEO and Industrial Awards. Site Turn Search 5, Turn Search 10. Public speaking and media presence. Gained international attention for his unforgettable portrayals of Bishop David Oyedepo at large gatherings in Lagos 2018 and 2021, which led to his affectionate nickname, Oko Afa. Site Turn Search 6. He emphasizes preparation and unique stage presence, noting he spent 6 months rehearsing a 3-minute performance. Site Turn 6. Active in media, including radio and TV features, is discussing leadership and innovation. Site Turn Search.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the whole information about our speaker. Let's make welcome whilst we meet Prince as he present to us what he has. Prince, your audience, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, let me hear from each and every one of you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, and if possible, you can turn on your camera. That'll be great. That'll be amazing. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. So I want to see your faces. If you want to be a great public speaker, you need to not be shy showing your face, okay? So if the circumstances favor you, you can just turn on your camera and we can take it from there. That would be great. I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. Thank you. Okay, I can't see all of you though, but I think I can proceed. While I'm doing the presentation, please, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them in due regard. And so I am Prince Okwampa Osafo, the founder of the Experts Hub Africa. Hi, is it Halidu?
Hi, Mr. Prince.
Hi, how are you doing?
Please, I'm fine also.
I'm doing okay. Is that Zita?
Yeah, Zita.
Hi, Zita. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Awesome. I'm doing okay. So I'm going to make it as brief as possible. I don't want to take much of your time. I think your president made it very explicit in that regard. And so I'm going to keep it very brief. Now, when it comes to public speaking, okay, there are 3 main aspects that count, okay? Now, your public speaking in turn transcends, okay, into your personal branding. Now, branding is what you're recognized for or what you are known to represent, okay? I am not going to be showing you slides. I'm not going to be doing the archaic things, okay? Because that would go into a third portion of my presentation, which is tapping into your superpower. And so I'm going to be getting there soon. I just want this session to be as interactive as possible. That's why I was saying that if you have any questions, you can drop them whilst I'm doing the presentation, because I'm going to try and make it. Now, there are 3 main aspects when it comes to public speaking or presenting in an audience. Now, number 1 is your visual. I want you to pen them down. We'll be dichotomizing very soon. And so number 1, visual. Number 2, audio or sound. Number 1 is visual. Is it Zephaniah? Steve's?
Hi. Yeah, Zephaniah.
Oh, hi, Zephaniah. I love your voice.
Thanks, sir.
It's good to see you. So yes, number 1 is your visual. Number 2 is your sound or audio. And then number 3 is subliminal. Subliminal. I'm I'm going to leave that spelling in the chat box. Okay, I've done that. So subliminal. Now I'm going to be, as I said earlier, dichotomizing each and every of the points I've given you, okay? So now when it comes to the visual, please, what is the first thing you notice when you get to experience someone? So for instance, Zephaniah, what was the first thing you noticed when Prince Okwampa started with the presentation?
Your face.
Thank you. Your face. Your face. When someone says something and you think is really exciting, you can just react with an emoji, okay? So I think there are some emojis, either clap for him or react with a heart or something, okay? You can do that. Thank you very much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Zephaniah, you're getting some reactions. That's great. Perfect response. And so, yes, my face. So that's my looks, okay? That takes us to the first point, my looks. So you can pen that down. So there are three aspects when it comes to public speaking, okay, or presentation or communication. This one works across all boards, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're an accountant or a journalist or a multifaceted public speaking coach. It doesn't matter, okay? It goes across board. And so please pen this down. Number one is visual. And under visual, you have looks. Number two is your smell. If they're meeting you in person, smell. Number one is your looks. Number one is your looks. Number two, smell. And then number three is your facial expressions. Yes, and then number four, your posture. So number one, should I go over that again? Okay, so number one is looks. Number two, smell. Number three, facial expression. And then number four, posture. These are very important. As I told you earlier, I didn't say I was going to explain. I said I was going to dichotomize. I'm hearing some Benza in the background. Please mute your mic. Thank you. Mr. Benza, you just end that name. Okay, so number one is your looks. Number two, smell. Number three, facial expression. And number four, posture. Okay, so when it comes to the looks here, the looks can be a lot of things, okay? Now, interestingly, I have a friend, okay? Now we are not that close, but then he's a long lost friend now. I had a friend who looked really amazing. And when I say amazing, I mean Shaka Zulu amazing, okay? The kind of friend that even Tarzan would see and run away. That friend looked really, really amazing, okay? And most of the time he will be mocked, okay? He was going to be teased, he was going to be bullied. Me, on the other hand, I was extremely short, black, and I had a very big head, okay? The head and body ratio wasn't matching. And so most people would look at me quite weird. Musa, stop laughing, please. So yes, that happened for a little while, and then puberty hit me very disrespectfully, and God changed my story. But then interestingly, this friend of mine though, it got to a point where after getting bullied several times, after getting mocked several times, right? What he did was this. He turned that negativity about himself, okay, into something that people admired. Interestingly, he became a public speaker. And his market is mostly not even in Ghana where he was born. He's mostly focusing in Canada, 1, 2, South Africa, and then number 3, Kigali in Rwanda. Okay, and it's very, very interesting because he's using his looks to sell himself. This guy is not the most handsome person in his friend group, trust me, okay? But then he's using that to his advantage, okay? So all I'm trying to tell you is this. When you are able to tap into your superpower, you can use that to your advantage when you're speaking in public. Do you understand? And I'm going to tell you why in due time. So please pen that down, your looks. Number 2 is your smell. I don't think I need to elaborate on this one. So your smell is either good or bad, or extremely good or awful, okay? There are no two ways about it. So personal hygiene is what I'm talking about. So please make sure you pay attention to your smell and make sure it's something that is not repulsive, something that doesn't suck people away from you, simply put. Thank you very much. And then the next thing is your facial expression. Now, maybe there will be some instances where you see someone presenting, in this case, an accountant, okay, making it more relatable. And now, say in the boardroom, you have board of directors, you have your head, whatever you want to call them, as it were, titles are mere adjectives of convenience. And so in this case, you're standing right in front of them and you're presenting. And you can see maybe a part of your upper lip, okay, just fluctuating like that. How many of you have experienced it? If you have experienced it before, just react. Okay, can be any of the emojis, just react. Okay, just a part of your upper lip. Okay, just exactly. Awini has experienced it before, right? Zephaniah, right. So that happens. That is going to take us to our third point. So we're going to get there. But then that happens, and that gives you away. Okay, it depicts low self-esteem or less confidence. Now, this thing about public speaking is this. Now, your body can't tell the difference between when you are excited and when you're anxious. Okay, your brain cannot tell the difference. It is what you accept that your brain acts on. And so in a case where you mount the stage or you're speaking in that boardroom presentation form or doing a report, okay, you have your presentation nicely laid out. And here you are doing a presentation. And now in this case, you are feeling so tensed and anxious and you don't know what to do. At that point, let me give you a pro tip. Tell your body or tell yourself that, wow, I'm really excited. Do that for a couple of times and you see your body sinking into that confidence because your body can't tell the difference. And it's something that has to do with psychology. We are going to be delving into that pretty shortly. So your smell, and then facial expression, and then the last one is your posture. Now, your posture says a lot about you when you're communicating, okay? Now, Mark Zuckerberg, some time ago when he was communicating, okay, now I have my hands on the desk, okay? So you can see them above my bust region, okay? So normally, if you don't mind me standing, I've got to show you something. Now, look at this. When you're presenting, when you're presenting and your arms are above your bust, okay, it portrays low self-esteem, and then also you make the audiences uncomfortable, okay? You make the audiences uncomfortable. It's very psychological. We're going to go into that. So when you're presenting, make sure your hands, okay, are around this region. Mostly that place right in the middle of, okay, underneath your bust this way and right above your tummy, okay, this region. As if you're touching your stomach this way, okay? Your stomach this way, right? So make sure you keep your hands around that region when you are presenting. That was just a pro tip. But then all I'm trying to stress on is your posture, okay? Make sure you keep your waist level down. I'm just hoping at some point your president is going to schedule an in-person session where I'm going to be demonstrating all of that, okay? So I won't stress on this much. Okay, then we move on to second main point. So that is sound or audio. Sound or audio. So under sound or audio, there is this word. If you can see, it's in the chat box. And I would like at least 3 of you to pronounce it for me. Thank you. If you can see it, please go ahead. Just unmute your mic.
Pronunciation.
Enoch.
Pronunciation.
Yes.
Okay. Enoch said pronunciation. Okay. Eugenia, you want to say something?
Pronunciation.
Okay, pronunciation. Okay. Enoch.
I
only heard
pronunciation.
Okay, Ikia, what did you say?
Pronunciation.
I'm sorry, repeat. Come again.
Pronunciation.
Okay. Next person. One more person.
Pronunciation.
I'm sorry, what?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great efforts. Now, it's sad to break it to you that only Ikuya got it right. Okay. And when it comes to words, okay, please learn the correct pronunciation of the words. Okay, it's pronoun, not pronoun. When you pronounce it, that's correct. That's the right, okay, way to pronounce it. Okay, that's the right way to say it. But if it's in this form, it's not pronunciation, it's pronunciation. Okay, and there are several other words like that. Okay, so please learn to say words correctly. It's very important. English is not our language, okay? It's another man's language. And so when you're learning it, make sure you learn it the right way and speak it the right way. Ghana for you, yeah. Interesting, Priscilla. Yes, so we move from there. The next one is enunciation, okay? Enunciation. So the enunciation part, though, is how efficiently you speak, okay? How eloquent you sound, okay? Is really, really important. Is really, really important. Now, when it comes to communication or public speaking, you don't need to be using big words, okay? Big words and sounding redundant and all of that. It's of no use, trust me. People relate to you, or your audiences relate to you when you speak in a very eloquent manner, using simple words, breaking complex situations, okay? And statistics in ways that is very relatable to them. That is why I told you I wanted this session to be as interactive as possible so that I get you to sink in with what I am telling you, okay? Because now I'm not communicating to you, I'm communicating with you. Communication is a two-way thing. You understand? Yes. So thank you very much. And the next one is sounding persuasive. Okay, sounding persuasive. In this case, modulation is another. Diction is another, okay? To modulate your words means that how high or low you sound, okay? How high or low you sound. So for instance, let's take God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Okay, just that line. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Okay, is it Halidu? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, Halidu, you are going to do this for me. Repeat exactly what I said. Okay, that line.
God bless our homeland Ghana. Yes.
And make our nation great. Continue.
And make our nation great and strong.
Again.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
Okay, Halidu, let me be honest with you. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm not happy with the way you're communicating, right? And I presume that is why we're all here. I'm learning, you're learning, we're all learning. Now, I'm going to make you change exactly what you said, okay, into something professional, okay? Now, what separates a professional speaker from a non-professional is what just happened. So I'm going to tell you what to do. Repeat exactly what you did, what you just said.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to just sit up, okay? Sit up. Make sure your shoulders are not tense, okay? Just relax. Now take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and hold it. Okay, everybody, you can be trying this, okay? It's an exercise. You need to hold it and I'll let it out. Now, exhale from your mouth, breathe in through your nose, okay? And then exhale from your mouth. Try that 3 times. When you're done, you just lift a hand, then we continue. Right, beautiful. Right, so now I'm going to need you to do this. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong, okay? Just hit the same notes, okay? You know the do, re, mi, fa, so, you know the surface, right? Okay, so now yes. Your voice is an instrument. The earlier you understand this, the better, okay? Your voice is an instrument. Zephaniah, you remember when you started speaking, I said, I love your voice, right? You've learned a portion of your voice and you've known how to tap into that, okay? Your voice is an instrument, just like a musician is going to be singing on stage, okay? And hitting all the surface and creating the melody, okay? Your voice is an instrument. And so you need to learn to tap into it. The same as a musician is going to do, you as a speaker also need to learn to tap into your voice. Okay, for instance, I've got a superpower, and that is me having 5 voices, 5 different distinct voices. Okay, now this is what's going to happen. Halidu, I'm going to need you to hit the high notes. Okay, any high note at all you want to hit, just hit it, but make sure you maintain it. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, go.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong.
Good. Try one more time.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong.
And make our nation great and strong. Take that one more time.
Sorry. And make our nation great and strong.
Okay. So
God
now
bless our homeland Ghana.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to need you to take the low notes, okay? The lowest you can do. And then I'll hit those ones also with the same sentence. Go.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
Take it one more time.
God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
Exactly. So you see what you've done, right? It's called pitching. Okay, it's called pitching. Now, pitching is either when you hit a high note or a low note. Okay, that's pitching. The midline is called a falsetto. I'm going to walk you through all that. So we have our in-person session, so don't worry about it. And then modulation is when you're alternating, okay, between the high notes and the low notes. Alidu just demonstrated that, all of you, so I think you're following. If you're following, just demonstrate using an emoji or something, okay? Just let me know, react to it if you're following. Just react to it. Good, good, awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is what's going to happen, Halidu. You're going to take and say that God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Okay, you're going to take the God bless our homeland Ghana. Okay, just that. God bless our homeland Ghana. Okay, God bless our homeland Ghana. And now you're going to alternate between the high pitches and then the low pitches. Okay, just be hitting like that. So now you're going to be following my hand when you're speaking. That works? Awesome. So now we're just going to try this one, just the high pitch. So 1, 2, go.
God bless our homeland Ghana.
Okay.
God bless our homeland Ghana.
Huh?
God bless our homeland Ghana.
I want to hear the distinction, okay? Make sure the tones are very distinct. All right, thank you. 1, 2, go.
God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless our homeland Ghana.
Thank you.
God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless our homeland Ghana. Sorry. God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless our homeland Ghana.
With practice, yeah, with practice. It comes with practice, okay? This is exactly what to do to have an amazing voice, okay? So I just did it. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to be doing that, and then, okay, just follow my hand, okay?
Okay, all right.
Keep repeating until I tell you to stop. So 1, 2, go.
God bless our homeland Ghana. 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 God bless our homeland Ghana.
Relax. This is what I mean. God bless our homeland Ghana. Okay. God bless our homeland Ghana. Okay. Let it go like that. So 1, 2, go.
Okay.
I'm going to pick another person. So
God
please,
bless.
random.
Okay. God bless our homeland Ghana. God bless our homeland Ghana.
It's not different. Okay, now Zephaniah, you. After you, Eugenia. Okay, so let's go. You're muted, Zephaniah.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Great. So,
go.
God bless our homeland Ghana.
Oh my God, Zephaniah, you sound amazing. Okay, I think at this point, yeah, I think at this point, you and Halidu, do you know Halidu in person?
No.
You don't. Interesting. At this point, yeah, I'm going to I'm going to allow for you to connect with Halidu, okay? And then whichever way you speak, okay, just walk him through it. Do you understand? I know this is
Very
unique
well.
based on whoever it is, okay? My voice is different from yours is different from
Yeah.
his, and everybody else's, okay? But then I really, really wish you would connect, both of you. So Halidu, if you don't mind, maybe you can drop whichever means he can reach out to you in the chat, and then Zephaniah can also do the same, okay?
Very well.
Okay. So, even though we didn't get, a pretty good demonstration, I think that Halidu, you tried, okay? You tried. And if
All right.
out of 10, I'm going to give you like a 6, okay? And I'm saying that because you
All
really
right.
go with the pitching and not the modulation. The modulation I know is hard, okay? It comes with practice. So, Zephaniah did something close to that, and that was God bless our homeland, Ghana. Okay, he did something like that, which was great. So that is modulation for you. And most of the time you'll be hearing that in journalistic work, okay, either through the news or, TV or radio, okay? So most often you
All right.
hear the journalist reading and then they are modulating, okay? So something like Kenya's finance director that assault investigators on Monday, momentarily Director of Public Prosecutions ordered his arrest. Now, according to Nairobi News, Mr. Rotich was driven to the police station and is expected to be, they keep going like that, okay? And then most of the time you hear them say, hi, I'm Prince Okwampa Osafo. Welcome to BBC News, the headlines, okay? They go in like that. So you modulate whichever aspect or field of work you are into. First, that keeps nothing. Whichever field you are into, it applies. It applies. Modulation works there, pitching works there. Okay, so please practice. You know what? It is not the content. Okay, to content. I want to believe that all of you are capable. You know how to bring your facts and figures together, okay, to present. But when it comes to the content, that's not what, okay, it is how you present the content that matters. It is how you present content that matters. So someone who is using modulation against someone who is not, trust me, by the time you're done with the presentation, the one who applied modulation is going to be prepared or is going to be considered a professional speaker. Do you understand? Among other things, though, we'll be delving into. So pay attention to that. I told you to sound persuasive, okay? And modulation was one of them. Just a recap. Pitching is another, okay? And then your diction is also another. If you have any questions, you can ask now, and then move. If you have any questions, you can ask now, and then we'll go to the more exciting part. If you have any questions.
Okay, I want to ask, at what point in time would you need to modulate? Would it have to be in, like at every point in time, or maybe when you are transitioning to a different point or something?
Okay, brilliant question, Zephaniah. So you modulate while you're speaking, okay? It doesn't matter where. Modulation is part of your speaking, okay? Let it be a part of your speaking. Do you understand? There's no specific time to intro. It should be a part of your speaking. Understand that? Maya, your mic is muted. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard me or you missed it, but I'm saying the modulation should be a part of your speaking, and that's why you're learning it in the first place. You pitching, you modulating. Now, the reason you modulate is to not sound boring. Okay, is to not sound boring, because when you are speaking on flatter notes, it doesn't sound melodic to the ear. Okay, it doesn't sound melodic to the ear. So, for instance, we have an anchor that keep the soul steadfast and sure when the billows roll. Okay, you know the song now, sounding robotic. You understand? But we have an anchor that keeps the soul. Da, 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 da. That's modulating. Okay, modulating. Even though in musical terms, it is moving one octave to another, which is also another different ballgame. But in speaking, modulating means that you are hitting a higher note, lower note, okay, intermittently. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So there's no specific time to introduce it. It should be a part of your speaking, so you sound melodic. Great. Any other question?
Right.
Is this Zita? Zita, you have a question?
Please, Frederick, I have a question. Doesn't mean the moderation, you should be intentional about it while speaking.
Okay, so this is it. Just like you're learning a lyrics of a song, or you're learning the surface of a song, okay? Or you're learning anything that has to do with melody, okay? First of all, you need to sit down and rehearse, isn't it? Now, you need to rehearse with several scripts, or say do dry runs with your presentations, okay? Now, when you do that for some time, it gets to a point, there's something called muscle memorization. It gets to a point where your body becomes used to it. Do you understand? It's more like when you're hitting the gym. You hit the gym for the first 2 to 3 days, trust me, your body will bash you. Okay, you're going to feel sore. At a point, you won't even be able to move your muscles and all of that. It's very natural, okay? It's very, very normal, and it's part of the process. So you also need to train this. There's something called your vocal cord, okay? And it's right inside. Okay. You need to train that your vocal cord is going to get used to it. Now, when you rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, it gets to a point where now your body becomes used to it. No matter the scripts, no matter the presentation, you get used to it. Make sense?
So I wanted to find out.
Great.
Does that mean it should be part of our life, our day to
Exactly.
day activity?
Exactly. If you want it to be a part of you real quick, okay, to a point where it doesn't sound like you are acting or you're faking it, okay?
Yeah.
Or it's not like an instrument where whenever you're ready, you just take it and then start playing. Then you can be using it in your day-to-day life. You understand? Yeah.
Okay.
On regular. Exactly. So it becomes a part of you.
Thank you.
Because of the thing called muscle memorization. Your body becomes used to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. One last question and then we'll move from there. Okay, Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
All right, sir. I have a question with respect to how relevant is it to maintain eye contact with your audience when doing a presentation?
This is a beautiful question, Joseph. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so eye contact, it depends on your personality type, okay? Someone might give you a straight answer, but I'm telling you this from experience, okay? It depends on your personality type. If you know that maintaining direct eye contact with your audience is going to give you a problem, please look at your foreheads or slightly above their heads, okay? If you know you're an introvert or an ambivert and that day your confidence is not hitting, please don't look into their eyes. Before Medusa catches you, you will freeze, okay? So you don't want that. You either look at their foreheads or you look slightly above their heads, okay? Exactly. And that strategy works every time. They will assume you're looking straight into their eyes. And if you're a confident person, okay, or an extrovert, you don't have a problem with, communicating and all of that or interacting with people, then you can look into their eyes. But a strategy that also works, whether or not you are focusing on your personality type, okay, whether you're an introvert, an ambivert, or an extrovert, this is what's going to help. You're going to focus on talking to just one person in the audience per time. Okay, so for instance, when I was speaking, I don't know if you noticed right from the beginning, when I saw your faces, I just connected with you real quick, right? When I saw Halidu, I was like, hey, Halidu, how are you doing? Da, 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 da. We had that interaction. If I was with you in person, that's what I was going to do. I was going to be like, hi, Halidu. So you're speaking to the person, and so you're not shy. You speak to the person, you will meet any other person in the room. But then there's something beautiful. It is still going to take us to the third point, but it's really exciting. I'm going to hold that for a bit. And it's so beautiful that, okay, that assumption goes to everybody in the room, even though you're speaking with one person. Do you understand? Yeah. So eye contact is really, really vital, but then it is based off of your personality type. I hope I've answered your question, Juve.
Sir, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, we're going to rest for like 15 seconds. Just let it sink in. try and, go over everything that we've spoken about. I'm just going to give you a breather and then we'll continue. 15 seconds. Okay, welcome back. Yes. How are you all doing? Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're doing. If you're doing great, let me see that with the emojis. Come on, let me see some reactions here. Any issues? Let me see the reactions. Let me see the reactions. Awesome, 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 awesome. Oh, I see Juliet. That's a new name. I see Nana. Okay. I see Vivian. Okay. Now, Vivian. Is it Vivian Amon? Vivian, can you hear me?
Vivian.
Hi, Vivian. What have you learned so far?
Good evening.
Good evening, Vivian.
Yeah, please, I joined late though, but I met Halidu saying, God bless our homeland Ghana, and then another guy came, and then so the pitching, and then the low key, and then the high key. That's what I learned. So I joined late to do.
Oh, wow. The low key and the high key. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Let me see. Cyril. Cyril Ankara. Cyril, if you can hear me, what have you learned?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. What have you learned?
Yeah, I also just joined, and I heard of the gentleman who just asked the question about whether it matters. What was it about? The question
The
you
eye
just answered.
contact.
That's right, the eye contact. That is, if you look at the forehead, if it's the introvert type or whatever. That was where I yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Augustina Agbi, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Augustina, can you hear me? Juliet. Juliet, if you can hear me, can you unmute your mic? Okay. I don't think Juliet is with us. Doreen. Doreen, if you can hear me. Okay. Joseph. Is it Yanfo?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Joseph
Right.
Yanfo.
I've learned that you said presentation is key when it comes to us being an accountant or whatever profession we have chosen to pursue. And you mentioned 3 key things that we... please, am I clear?
Hi, yes, continue.
All right. You mentioned 3 key things that is very vital when it comes to doing a presentation. One of them is visual. You said that the visual, you are looking at our looks, how presentable one is. When he or she is doing presentation, the smell, and the smell, you talk about personal hygiene, your smell should not put people off. And you emphasize that this is most especially when it's in person, very critical. Then the facial expression, as well as the posture. You did mention that, and you demonstrated how our hands should be used when communicating. It should not go up. And you demonstrated that very well. You also talked about the audio. and it tests pronunciation, how that word is pronounced. And I think Ikuya did pronounce it correctly. And he said we should also speak eloquently. And with this eloquent, it's not about using big words, but very simple words for people to understand. And our words should be persuasive enough for your audience to, be in line with you. Sorry. Then modulation and pitching. And you use our brother Aledo. God bless our homeland Ghana. Come down. God bless our homeland Ghana. And I think
wow, you did it really well, Joseph. You did it really well, Joseph.
and then it was good, And I had a question, and you clarify how we should maintain eye contact when it comes to presentation, depending on our personality type. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Wow. I'm really impressed with all of your answers. That's great. Thank you very much. And so now, to wrap all of this up, okay, it takes us to our most intriguing parts, okay, and that is psychology, okay, the psychology of public speaking, okay, the psychology of public speaking. Now, we're going to go down right to the roots, and then we'll be building up, okay? So now, when it comes to communication, okay, communication has to do with understanding, okay? Information being sent and information received, okay? So in this case, we can say, in simple terms, the sender and the receiver, okay? So now in this case, the sender is you, say Joseph, okay? Joseph, you're the one sending the message. And then there's the receiver, which is the rest of us, okay? Listening to everything that you're saying. You see how I took my time to use simple words, right? It made you follow me, and then you were nodding every step of the way, right? That is the psychology of presentation. Alidu is also nodding right now, okay? And and that's going to take us to the next one, okay? Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication, okay? Now, what we say is from the conscious. There are two parts of the human mind. Number one is the conscious. Number one is the conscious. I'll need you to write that down. Number one is the conscious. Number two is the subconscious. Number one is the conscious. Number two is the subconscious. Interestingly, everything we do in our day-to-day lives is from the conscious. Everything we do. So now, you thinking of what to say, okay, you thinking of what to do, you planning your day, you doing your accounting and all of that, okay, is from your conscious. You being in the moment, right in the present. Some of you are penning this thing I'm saying down, okay? It's in your conscious, okay? Right from your conscious, and then you're penning it down. But then, in this case, your conscious is going to be more like what displays the information already stored, okay? What displays the information already stored. And so, let's take a mobile phone, for example. You see your phone screen, right, when you're operating it. The screen is only displaying what is happening on the inside, okay? And that is your conscious. That is the conscious. I won't go too much into psychology. I don't want to confuse anybody here. So now, your conscious is like the phone screen, and then your subconscious is the memory and anything else, okay, inside the phone that makes it work. And so now this is what happens. Every memory that you've ever saved or stored, okay, every experience you've ever been through, every word you've ever heard, every emotion you've ever felt It's in your subconscious. Okay, it's in your subconscious. And then now it is your conscious that brings them to life. Do you understand? And so if I tell you to remember the first time you say wrote an exam and passed and you were given applause, okay, you're going to try and remember something. When I ask you, try and remember the first time, no, try and remember the last time you wore a black shirt. You're going to try and remember, okay? If I tell you, try to remember the first thing I said when this presentation started, you're going to go back, okay? And there are agents in your brain that makes that happen. I'm saying this because psychology is applicable in communication. And if you know how to hack people's psychology, okay? If you know how to hack people's psychology, trust me, you can get, let me not go there. You can, you can be able to deliver communication effectively, okay? No, you can be able to deliver your communication effectively. Now, there are some agents, and I'm going to mention a few. Number one is schemata. I'm going to type the word in the chat box. Okay, so number one is schemata, as if you're spelling school, but then with an E-M-A-T-A. Schemata. S-C-H-M-A-T-A. Schemata. So now, schemata, okay, is like the hard drives, okay, in the mobile phone. They store every single information, okay, and they are stored. You see the hard drive of a device, right? All of that, and you do that to communicate with other people, and that is saved in bits. And the bits translates to bytes, and then the bytes to gigabytes, and then all of that, megabytes and gigabytes and then terabytes. And so now all these ones, okay, the bits are called neurons, okay, the neurons of the brain. Please follow me carefully. The neurons of the brain are the agents that take every information, every experience, every emotion into your brain, into the storage system. Okay, and so in this case, they are taking it to schemata, and then schemata is going to save it in your mind. And that one is saved in the subconscious. Now, I told you earlier that there are two parts of your mind. There's the conscious and the
subconscious.
How you do? There's a conscious and the subconscious. Thank you. Okay, if you know the answer, you can also type in the chat box whenever you feel you know the answer. Okay, there's the conscious and then the subconscious. Okay, and schemata is what stores every memory you've ever experienced. Okay, and the schemata has agents that bring the information to it, and that is called the neurons. Okay, that is called the neurons. And so let's understand this. When you are communicating in public, okay, and people are picking certain cues, okay, or they understand exactly what you're saying, okay, they are trying to relate it with experiences they've already had. Do you understand? And that is why I told you to make your words as simple as possible, because when you bring this, introduce the simple words, they will take the simple words and then translate it into their own understanding. Are you getting it? Please, if you are confused, just let me see your hand. You ask a question, I will explain. Okay? If you understand the psychology bit of public speaking, you can control any crowd. Now, after it has been carried to your schemata, okay, there are other parts also called the cognition. Cognition is the stages of the experiences that each and every individual has gone through. Cognition as it sounds. Cognition. Okay, cognition. And so cognition is the stages, okay, of the experiences that you've had. And so if you understand the kind of people you are speaking to, okay, and then you understand the kind of words to use, because you know, okay, these are the kind of people I'm speaking to. For instance, in my case, I knew I was speaking to accountants. And in that case, everything I'm going to be saying should be relating to accounting. Okay. And which part of accounting? The public speaking bit of it. And that builds your brand. You understand? So it makes me, you know, make the message centralized and specific to accountants. Okay. So please understand this. When you're able to get this, you'll be able to hack any audience at all. It takes us to our next point, storytelling. If you noticed, I've been telling you stories right from the beginning. Okay, right from the beginning. I told you about my friend. Okay, that friend of mine, and then myself. I told you about myself. If you can remember, if any of you can remember, just raise a hand. I'm going to call you, and then you tell me. One of you will tell me about that friend of mine, and then another person will tell me about me. So I said 2 stories among others, but then these 2 are what I'm interested in. So anybody? Anybody? You can raise a hand. There's a place you can react. Okay, there are emojis down there, so you can react, or you can leave a message in the chat box, just a reaction. Raise a hand, or just any emoji at all. Someone said Shaka Zulu friend. Awesome. So that's is it Awal Muhammad? Can you unmute your mic? Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
say,
Awal.
yeah.
Yes. When you started, you made some sort of comparison between you and a Shaka Zulu friend
Okay.
who was bullied because of how he looked and managed to turn that negativity around and is now a public speaker.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what about my story though? Who else is going to tell me about my story? You nailed it though, Mohammed. You nailed it. Who is going to tell me about my story? Who else? You could just show in the chat box. Don't be shy. Okay, Joseph, Yanfo. Okay, Joseph.
All right. You did say that when you were in school, you had a big head, and you were dark as well, and so people used to tease you. And today, you are a public speaker, and so it's important. And I'm sure when you were talking about the looks, that is where you chip in such story. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Mohammed and Joseph, you've done amazing. High five for you. High five. So this is it. Do you see what just happened? Joseph was able to remember what the story was linked to. Okay, and that is the power of storytelling. It can be a fraction of the story. Okay, now Mohammed dropped in a that Michael, you're saying something? Okay, so Mohammed dropped something in the chat box, and that was Shaka Zulu friend. Okay, just that phrase reminded him of the story. Do you understand? So storytelling is a very powerful tool you can use in public speaking. Okay, so that is going to permit me to say, instead of you giving, say, some stats, okay, about something you've gathered, okay, and then you're telling your board. For instance, you've noticed that unemployment is going to be increasing between 2035 to 2050, okay? And Africa is going to be the most populated continent on the planet. And in that case, unemployment is going to increase by 12.4%, okay, by that year. You see, I've said it straight, okay? In this case, you can't just quote the percentage and say Africa, and then you just move from there. You've stated the facts and the figures, but you're not presenting okay, you are not communicating. So in this case, you can frame it in a way that makes the message really receptive, okay, and relatable. You understand? You're presenting to your board, and so you can even start with, according to our findings, Africa is going to be the most populated continent on the planet in the year 2035 to 2050, with an unemployment rate increase of 12.4%. That means that a lot of youths can either be employed or there's also going to be a catastrophe in terms of unemployment. Okay, in this case, the board of directors or the board is listening to you in a sense that, okay, this stats that you, how is it relating to the real world and how are we going to change something about it? Okay, and so in that case, you've made the information relevant to them or to the audience. Do you understand? And if you are telling the parents of such, or you go to somewhere, I don't know, in a remote place in Ghana, and you're trying to communicate with them, obviously you're not going to be using certain phrases, okay, or big accounting words to confuse them. Do you understand? You're going to try to make the information as relatable as possible. Okay, and so that is that. That is that. It's going to take us to the last one, subliminal messages. Subliminal messages. And subliminal messages is what I mentioned earlier. It's still in relation to the nonverbal form of communication, okay, or the psychology bit when it comes to public speaking. So those are nonverbal cues, okay? The nonverbal cues are these. When you're speaking, you see there are movements of hands, okay? There's a way you raise your brows, and there's a way you sound and the vibration of your voice. There's some people, when they are very tense, the voice do vibrate. You understand? You can sense the lack of confidence in their voices, okay? And all those are subliminal messages, okay? You can't really pinpoint, but then they are there. You can just tell this person is not confident. And I demonstrated one also when I stood. Remember, when I told you your arms are supposed to be at a particular region when you're communicating, okay? Yes, all those are subliminal messages. Subliminal messages. And hopefully we have an in-person session and I'm going to walk you through the subliminal messages. We're actually going to demonstrate, okay? And from there, you're going to notice something. Right, so at this point, I won't delve much into the psychology bit. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, I won't delve into the psychology bit. I mean, too much. So if you have any questions, you can ask, and then we call it a night. Okay, Awule Mohammed.
Hello.
Hi.
Sometimes people give off body languages that not necessarily reflect what is their thinking. In such, because sometimes your body will be giving you off as, let's say, when you started speaking, you said that when your hand is somewhere above this area, it shows lack of confidence. But you can,
and then also is uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes, uncomfortable. But there are cases that I might be doing that, but it doesn't show that I lack confidence or anything. Sometimes unknowingly, I find myself doing that. How do I go about that then?
Awesome question, Mohammed. Awesome question. And I'm happy to see your face, actually. So let me tell you something. There is no way your mind will think one thing and your body depicts another, okay? And then also, yes, maybe there's something I should add. Your environment also influences your kind of, your patterns when it comes to communication and body language, okay? For instance, there's a part in Asia, when they nod this way, it's a no. This means no, this means yes. Okay, so when you're talking to such a person and they want to agree with you and they do this, You'll be thinking they're saying no, but they're actually saying, yeah, I totally agree. But in our case, when we do this is a yes, we do this is a no. Okay. Now, Mohammed, I'm going to tell you something, and it's your body that gave you away. Okay. And it's a subliminal message. I'm going to tell you something about you. You are someone who is a very straight forward talker. Okay. You're very deliberate. And in most cases, when family meetings are being held, okay, you are appointed to say lead the conversation because they believe you are endowed with a lot of insight. Please tell me I'm lying. It's from your body language.
Yeah, before.
Awule is gone. I say wow or Awule, I don't know. Mohammed is gone.
It's a wow.
Okay, a wow.
That's scary.
Right.
That's
Thank
scary. So there are two things. Is either you are a wizard or something else. I don't know.
So it is from your body language. Okay, it's from your body language. And another thing about Halidu is also that I think in some cases when there are maybe less than 5 people, you will be confident in speaking. Okay, but in most cases, when there are more than 5, clocking 10, 15, 20, and the numbers keep increasing, you tend to get so tensed. Sometimes the words coming out of your mouth becomes difficult. Okay, please confirm if it's a lie or if it's true.
It's true. It's
right. All right. And so all these are like very vital, okay, when it comes to body language, okay? Your mind cannot be thinking one thing and your body depicting another. It might be certain patterns that you're already used to, okay? But then when it comes to it, yeah. So it depends. As I said also, there are certain factors. So I'm really excited that Mohammed asked that question. So yeah, someone is asking in the comment box that please, any communication books to recommend? Yes, How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm going to be sending those ebooks to your president, and he's going to share with you, okay? I've got at least 2 books that will do. And then also in terms of the psychology, why you act the way you do, okay? Yeah. Al-Hassan, yes, Al-Hassan. I'd like to see your face, Al-Hassan. Don't worry, I won't read you.
Hello.
Hi, Al-Hassan.
Yes, please. Please, I want to ask that there are sometimes when I'm speaking, I make my hands as like is the hands control the way I talk.
Right.
When I'm going to say something, it leads me to say it, and I find it difficult to control it. So I want to see how one can control such gestures.
And I'm guessing when you were speaking, you were like, how one can control hand gestures.
Yes, exactly. I adapt it involuntarily, and I sometimes don't like it, and I want to know how I can reduce it or just eliminate it.
Okay, awesome. So you need to be doing a lot of vocal exercises, okay? It's not bad for your hands to be moving when you're speaking. It's actually a good trait, okay? You just need to know how to manage the frequency and that your movements doesn't affect your voice, okay? And that your movements doesn't affect your voice, and that your movements doesn't affect your voice, and that your movement doesn't affect your voice. You see, it didn't affect me. And so you need to learn to separate that. And I told you with constant practice comes, that sort of thing, muscle memorization, which I spoke about earlier, okay? You do it a couple of times, just find a subject, talk about it, try and communicate in secret, in public, but most of the time, I'll recommend you do it in secret, okay? Get a topic, try to speak about it, okay? Try to express yourself, try to present on something. It could be an old material, it can be something new that you've prepared, it can be a PowerPoint, just something, just try and then be doing that. When you practice, your body gets used to it. And with time, you won't even realize that, that is going on. So your voice and gesture combination, okay, should be very healthy. It shouldn't be something that will restrict you. And the solution is a lot of vocal exercises and rehearsing. Okay. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, I will try that. All right. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Awesome. You're welcome. Those in the chats, I'm going to. Okay, so there's a Eto, please hold on. There's a question in the chat box. This is really interesting. He said, there are instances you touch your eyes and nose occasionally, involuntarily during a presentation. Are there any laws to that? Okay, so it depends. It depends. I think I've been doing it today, tonight, right? And that's because my hand is on the desk, okay? And so it's very close to my face. And so the easiest thing, like when I'm laughing or like, not when I'm tense, when I'm laughing, you realize I do this or I try and support my chin, things like that, okay? Because this is so funny, I can't help it, okay? That is different. And it's different when you're standing and presenting, okay? And when you're touching your nose often, or you're touching your eyes often, it depends on the situation, okay? But then you should try as much when you're standing and presenting not to do that. And I think it connects with Al Hassan's question, okay? And the answer I gave him. When you're doing a lot of practice, okay, you tend to get used to it. First of all, you need to be intentional about not touching your face if you think that makes you uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, it aids in storytelling, okay? For instance, when I was talking about my Shaka Zulu friend, it got to and then when I was answering the question with regards to the eye contact, okay, I was touching my forehead, I was doing this, okay? So it aids in storytelling, okay? So if it's a case where you're telling a story or it's aiding a presentation, then fine. But if it has nothing to do with it, then please don't touch your face. And even in accounting, for a fact, if you're touching your face a lot while you are presenting on some crucial matters and figures, they might be thinking you're lying. Yeah, so you wouldn't want to do that. Thank you very much. Okay, Eto. Is it Eto or Eto?
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Ato. I'm a fan.
Ato.
Yes.
Hi.
I wanted to do some contribution to what we are doing. Like the parliament recently, the budgets that you realize they were using local things like Gary and other things to present for we the indigenous to understand it better. Formerly they were just reading it using per capita and other terms that the local people don't understand, and was affecting their political destiny. So just recently you realize that most of them were the finance minister was using local destiny to explain better to we the Ghanaians. And then secondly, I want to ask, when do you present? When do you do the presentation? When you were saying presentation, you made mention of you going high tone and low tones. When you are in a village or somewhere, can you do those low tones and other things? How would they take you? So I wanted to know when to do those. And as a professional accountant, and you are going for an interview, do you have to go through those low tones and other things to for interviews and for those positions and other things, or it's when you are only doing presentations that you look at that kind of voice changes? Thank you.
Okay, brilliant question, Ato. Brilliant question. And so yes, as I think I answered a little bit of that earlier. Modulation is to be used, okay, whenever you're communicating, okay, is to be used because especially when you're aiming at making your presentation or your speaking sound melodic or good to the ear, okay, you do that. And with regards to you communicating to certain people in a specific geographical area, in this case, a rural area, okay, you need to know the language to communicate in. That is one, okay? And after knowing the language, you need to know how to sound that they can easily relate to. Okay, and so these are two important parts. I think I said this earlier, when you're choosing like very simple language, okay, or words to communicate whatever it is that you want to pass to them. And then there's also another part of it. In this case, we are Ghanaians, and you've gone to a place and you speak their language. Why not just switch to their language? Okay. It also depends on the type of people in those geographical locations that you're speaking to. Okay, it could be that you are an accountant, but you are transferred to a particular region. But then the region are people who work in your company, and then the spoken language in that company and that region is English. So you just go with English. Okay, because if you are doing modulation with she, I don't know, it's going to sound partly sexy. I don't know, like in your nominata for me, you know, that's honestly, that sounds off to me. But then if you're sounding like yo mommy money mama kwaba, you know, that kind of thing, and then you're sounding like that, they can relate to you quite easily. They'll even ask you tons of questions. Okay, that means you're being relatable. So I think that picking the language and also the mode of delivery is also really important. Okay, that's why I hope I answered your question.
Yes, please, you've answered it. And relating to the interview.
Okay, so with the interview, yes. I told you earlier that the skill, okay, that you're learning right now, okay, this communication skill and this public speaking insights will help you everywhere in whatever field you are in. Mark Zuckerberg, okay, was like a tech mogul, okay, business mogul, is making like billions of dollars, but didn't really know how to communicate in public. He had to get someone to train him to speak in public, but he's in tech. Okay, it's a software that we are using, but you need to learn to communicate. Okay, and our presidents with time have been very good communicators, honestly, from Kwame Nkrumah to Rawlings to Akufo-Addo, and then Mahama. All of them are very, very, very good communicators. Okay, extremely good communicators. And so in modulating, whatever it is that has to do with presentation, you need to use it. Okay, you need to use it if you want your communication to sound melodic or easily relatable, or for people to connect with you quite easily. I hope I answered your question at all. Sorry.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Awesome. I've seen some questions in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Shadrach says, how will you handle issues when your audiences gets you emotional during presentation? You pause. It depends on the emotional. If it's, I think, Shadrach, you should voice this out. Okay, let me understand your question properly. Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it what exactly? Shadrach Lamoja or Lamoja?
Hello, you.
I don't. Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you asked the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it this way, especially when you are doing a political presentation, you know, in the midst of your opponents. There are at times issues when they try to charge you with a lot of things that will actually make you emotional. I'm talking about issues of that nature. How will you handle it?
Okay. So in this case, let's say tension or disrespect or bombarding you with too many questions and making you uncomfortable, right?
Yes, please.
Awesome. So something similar happened to Obama like that when he was president of the US. And so the person was right behind him and he was on the podium, right? And then the person was just yelling from behind. And there were other people also, you know, throwing questions, you know, and everybody, you know, it was just haywire in the auditorium. Guess what he did? He took the loudest person and then he told him, okay. All right. And then everywhere calmed down. And then now he directed the answer to just that one person that was the loudest. Okay, because his The height of his sound was controlling the crowd. And so he referred the answer to him and then told him, first of all, he acknowledged his feelings. He said, I receive what you're saying, and I respect the energy and the zest you are using to support this movement. But to answer your question, and then he went right into answering the question. Do you understand? That's why I told you the psychology part when you are communicating in public. Okay, when you understand the psychology, the schemata, the everything, because if that person is acting like that, it means that they've had a prior experience and it has triggered them, and that is why they're acting that way. You need to hack that. Okay, so in that case, you speak to that person on the inside, not the one outside making noise. The same person, but then you're speaking to the one on the inside. So when you connect with them in that genuine manner, you also, reciprocate it. You understand? And so it works. That's why I told you communication is a two-way street. You give to them as a receiver, they also give it to you. Okay, that way. So one is sending, one is receiving. One is sending, you are the sender, they are receiving, they also send, you receive. It goes that way. So first of all, if it's a tension situation, high tension situation, you're going to acknowledge, okay? And if it's a case of disrespect, just don't be like Donald Trump, okay? Tell someone their head is like chicken. Don't do that. But then you want to switch into the Obama style of, handling the situation with maturity. Because as that person has referred to you in that regard or throwing that tension or pressure to you, there are other people in the audience also looking at how you're going to respond to it. Okay, and that is going to even win you a larger audience than if you're retaliating in a bad way. So please don't retaliate, acknowledge their feelings, they are human beings like you, and then focus on giving them solutions to the problem. That is why you are there. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And then, what challenges have you faced as a public speaker and how have you overcome them? This is interesting. Beautiful question. Is it Fatima? Fatima, I'd like to see your face. Thank you. Fatima, where are you? Fatima Zara, CA.
I'm here.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
So
Good
your
evening.
question. Yes, good evening. So your question is, what problems I've faced as a public speaker?
Yes, please.
Okay, so one of them has been stage fright. Okay, I used to have stage fright a lot. That was my first time when I spoke in public. It was like 15 people. Then I was like 13. Okay, when I first spoke in public. And honestly, I fumbled. My own name, I forgot. The name just evaporated. I was looking for my name, I couldn't find it. Okay. And it was an awful experience. And I told myself, nah, this ain't happening again. And there was another time it happened and another one followed. I was like, oh my God. So it took some time though. That's why I told you earlier, it's based on your personality type. Okay. Experiences differ from one person to another. And so mine was struggling with expressing myself, okay, with people. But now I don't have that pressure anymore. And then from 15, it goes to 300, 300 to what? 1,500, and then to 5,000, and then to 7,000, and then to 50,000 in Nigeria. Okay, I've done 50,000 3 times. Yeah. And so all these are relevant. And when I got to the point of 50,000, I'd already experienced the 15, I'd already experienced the 300, I'd already experienced the 1,500, I already experienced, the 5K and then all that, right? So it's very crucial, but then also allow yourself to feel, okay? Allow yourself to also fail. It's very important. Allow yourself so you learn the lessons from it. With that, you can notice your shortcomings and all of that. And that will bring me to my most popular quote, which is practice doesn't make perfect. It is perfect practice that makes perfect. Okay? Practice alone doesn't make perfect. It is perfect practice that makes perfect. A lot of people are practicing, but not everybody is becoming perfect. Okay? A lot are practicing. That is because there are methodologies. Okay, there are systems There are things you need to use. There are certain things you need to go buy. Okay, and with those things come excellence or perfection. And so, even though we are all not perfect, yes, but we are striving towards perfection. Okay, and so practicing alone doesn't make you perfect. There's a right way to practice, and so perfect practice makes you perfect, not mere practice.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, something new today. Thank you very much.
you're welcome, Fatima. You're welcome. Okay, and that takes us to Derek and Kwate. Please, can you touch on verbal pauses and how to do away with it? I want to understand your question properly. Verbal pauses. What do you mean by that? You mean just speaking and pausing or what? Derek, N.K. Kwate. Derek, are you here? Okay. Since Derek is not here, we're not hearing from him. I'm just going to touch on that real quick, okay? And then after that, I'll take two more questions and then answer them, and that will be it. Okay, so the pauses though. When I was speaking earlier, it got to a point where I really meant to say something, and it just escaped. None of you noticed because I paused. Okay, I paused. And then after everything though, I told you I'm giving you 15 seconds to brood over everything. Do you remember? Yeah, I gave you 15 seconds to brood over everything. And that is because silence is part of communication. It's not always words. Sometimes pauses make the thing beautiful. Pausing can aid in storytelling. Okay. Have you noticed that sometimes people are doing stand-up, okay, and comedy, I mean, and then they are speaking to a point where it's aiding them in the story. So they pause and then the audience just starts laughing, okay, because they know what is coming next because of the pause. You can just feel it and just burst into laughter, okay? And so all those things are really important. It is crucial. That is why God gave it to you, okay? So pauses can be used as very powerful tools when you're communicating, right? And then how often should one use sounds that are not actual words? Example, clearing the throat in public speaking. So those are called fillers, okay, fillers. The reason people use ums and ahs and, and you see all those ones is because that is your brain trying to fill the gaps, okay, where you don't have words to fill. And so in that case, just like the answer I just gave you, you pause and continue. Nobody is after your life. Relax and communicate. Okay. So in a case where the info is becoming too much, you just pause, take a breather. Sometimes you can even tell your audience, give me a minute or give me a second. Let me think about this. Let me brood over this. Okay. Let me think through this. I don't want to misinform you. I've said at least 3 of these since we started, right? So all those are things to help you in avoiding a lot of ums and ahs and fillers. Okay, right. So that is just your brain trying to fill the spaces with words. And it gets to that point where it's like a radio working, and then at a point you're not getting the signal, and then it goes like, and then it comes back again. That's the ums and ahs, right? So I hope I answered your question. Pani, are you here? Pani, are you here? Yeah, I think the presentation is recorded, yes. The president recorded it. It's recording it. Yeah.
Prince, we are.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've seen it. Okay, so practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes you perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I said. So I'm assuming nobody else has a question. I think I saw a hand from Lois. I don't know. Lois? Did I see a Lois? Unless I'm mistaken. Okay, there's no Lois. Okay, then. So this is it. I'm going to finish with this. Okay. When it comes to public speaking, though, you need to have your beginning, middle, and end. Okay. So my beginning was the visual, my middle was the sound or audio, and then my end was the subliminal messages. Okay. The subliminal. And so I am going to end with this statement. You need to learn to doubt your doubt when you're on stage. Already you have a doubt, okay? And that is toiling with your confidence. And so you need to learn to doubt that doubt. So you have a doubt, and then you doubt that doubt. So it's going to cancel it out. And now there's no doubt existing. So write this down. If you learn to doubt your doubt, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted because you've learned to doubt your doubt. I'm going to take it slowly. If you learn to doubt your doubts, if you learn to doubt your doubts, you won't be a doubter anymore. You won't be a doubter anymore. Or in some cases, you can say no more. Because your doubts have been doubted. Repeating that, because your doubts have been doubted. And then the last part is because you learned to doubt your doubts. So I'm going to take it from the top. If you learn to doubt your doubts, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted, because you've learned to doubt your doubts. I'm going to run through that real quick. If you learn to doubt your doubt, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted, because you've learned to doubt your doubts. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you for joining.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince, for that awesome presentation. I will stand in the gap as the president of this consort to really thank you for giving us an insight in this wonderful presentation. Myself, I've learned a lot. We being lecturers, we do, as you said, we're supposed to be stopping all the filling the gaps and other stuff, and how to dress well and smell good. That is the portion that I took, smelling good is of essence, basically. So, Senior, we are grateful as an accountant. Okay, we are much grateful as an accountant, and I think going forward, we will do organize the in-person, as you said, so that a lot of demonstration will be done. On this at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a blessed night. I've been your host. My name is James Patrick Osaikofo. My friends call me Mamping. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. Bye.